Hi everyone, I'm Clem and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my TBR of a Newts Readathon that it's happening in August, and it's hosted by Rost Books, and I just forgot the name right now. I think it's Jay. No, it's not Jay. Jay is someone else. Anyway, I'm going to link the announcement video in the description box, because if you want to participate then you have all the information here. I'm not going to enter into too much details because you don't necessarily need to know that, but basically you have a list of subjects you have to sit in order to pass your Newts, and the Newts are the second exam the Hogwarts students have to pass during their school years. And so I chose different subjects that if I accomplish them and if I pass them, I'm going to be an Hogwarts professor, because it's the profession I chose for the house. So now I'm going to take the Newts in order to become a professor. So without further ado, let me tell you which books I'm gonna read in August and what are the subjects I'm going to pass. So in order to become a Hogwarts professor, I have to obtain at least one exceeded expectation in the subject Defense Against the Dark Arts. So it means I have to read at least 2 books. So the first book I need to read is Books That's Black Under the Dust Jacket. And here I'm going to read Alex and Eliza by Melissa de la Cruz, and as you can see it very briefly, it's Black Under the Dust Jacket. So this is a retelling of the story of Alexander Hamilton and Eliza Hamilton, his wife. This book came out like maybe 3 years ago, and I bought it once I was in New York, and because it was a huge fan, and I'm still a huge fan of Hamilton, like the musical. And I don't know why I haven't read this yet, but still, basically it's there are 3 books now, and it's telling the story, I think, of their love. And the second book I have to read in order to succeed this subject, and the second book I have to read in order to succeed this subject is Gilderoy Memory's Charm. First book that you remember just now from your TBR. And so I did this while watching the video of the host, and the first book that came to my mind was Wildwood by Colleen Meloy. I don't know how to say her name, but here. And so that was the first book that came into my mind. I have this book for so long now on my shelves. It's pretty huge like that when you see it, but actually like it's written in French first, because I'm going to read it faster normally. Also there are tons of illustration, so less text, and also like it's written pretty big, so I think I'm going to read this pretty fast. And concerning the story, I don't know what it's about, and I'm going to keep it like that because it's going to be a surprise. So yeah, basically you will not know what it's about. If you want to do, then Google it, I don't know. Next things I need to accomplish in order to become a professor: I need to obtain an O, which stands for outstanding, in the subject I want to teach, and 2 A's, which stand for acceptable, in at least 2 subjects. But the thing is that I don't know what subject I want to teach, so I have 3 or 4 subjects for which I have 3 books, so I can read as much as I want, and then I can choose at the end like which subject I want to teach. So the first subject I have is astronomy, and so the first prompt is pick a book with a moon on the cover or anywhere in the title, and for this I have History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. So this will be, if I read the second book I read by Adam Silvera, the first one being They Both Die at the End. I'm not sure what it's about. I feel like, from what I remember, we have this guy and his boyfriend died, and then he meets another guy, but he has to deal with his previous boyfriend being dead and everything, or something like that. I'm not really sure. But there's a moon on the cover, so yeah. Next is read a book with the word night on the title or on the series name, and for that I picked The Night Owls by Jen Bennett. It will also be the second book I read by her, the first one being Alex Approximately, that I read last summer and I loved it. I feel, once again, that I don't know what his book is about. I just know that the first time I read the plot and the synopsis, I wanted to read it, so I feel like it's still the case. I think it's a love story or something to do with friendship. I don't know, I don't remember. But my two best friends read it and they loved it, so I think I'm going to like it. And last but not least, in order to get an outstanding in this subject, I have to read a sci-fi book or a book with stars on the cover. And here I decided to read This Broken Star by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. So this is the first book in a trilogy, and I already read this book but like 3 or 4 years ago, and I remember it but not that much, and I want to reread it in order to read the second two books because I absolutely loved the first one and I would like to read this year. So it's a sci-fi book, and basically it's a sort of a retelling of the Titanic, because you have this girl, she's a very wealthy girl and she's on this boat, but actually it's a spaceship, and she meets this guy, and this guy is from the lower class, but there is a problem with the ship, and so they ended up together on a planet. And yeah, it's very a retelling of Titanic, and it's really good. The next subject I decided to pass is Care of Magical Creators, and the first prompt is Follow the Spiders, what could it be? Follow the Butterfly. Pick a book title that starts with the letter A for Aragog. And here I'm going with A Whole New World by Liz Braswell, and this is the first book in the Twisted Tales series, and basically she's taking all the very popular Disney movies and Disney stories, and this one is a retelling of Aladdin, and I don't know exactly what it's about. And basically it's a what-if story, so I'm going to read you the synopsis on Goodreads. What if Jafar was the first one to summon the genie? When Jafar steals the genie's lamp, he uses his first 2 wishes to become sultan and the most powerful sorcerer in the world. Agrabah lives in fear, waiting for his third and final wish. To stop the power-mad ruler, Aladdin and the deposed princess Jasmine must unite the people of Agrabah in rebellion. But soon, their fight for freedom threatens to tear the kingdom apart in a costly civil war. This sounds good. This sounds really good. So, yeah, that's it. The second prompt for this subject is read a book under 300 pages. And here I'm going to pick Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno, and so this book is about twin sisters who have a gift that's been passed through generations, and basically it's magic, but the main character, her gift hasn't shown yet, even though her twin sister has it, like she can gravitate or something like that. And she approached her 18th birthday and she feels that she will never have a gift, but then they arrive on this island and it's basically about her family and her magic, and it sounds like, I think it's magical realism, if I may say so. Yeah, basically she's going to have to try to find a power or something like that. I don't know, like, this sounds great. It came out not that long ago, like last year. But yeah, it sounds great. Last but not least, for this subject, I have to read a book with a bird on the cover. I will read Runen Rising by Lee Bardiger, so this is the last book in the Grisha trilogy. I've read the first 2 this spring, like I just finished the second one and I freaking love it. I'm really excited to see how this book is going to wrap up. Like, I think I know a bit because somebody is doing like stuff in my house, like repairing stuff, and it's making a lot of noise. Anyway, I was saying that I pretty much know how it's going to end because I read Six of Crows and it's happening in the same world, so you know a bit what's happening, but not that much. I can't wait to see how the Darkling is going to be defeated and how Alina and Mal are going to be in pain in the ass, especially Mal, because I like Alina actually, she's really nice. But the way the second book ended, I can't wait to see actually what's going to happen next. Are they going to find this bird? Are they going to be able to defeat the Darkling? Is Mal is still going to be a bitch and trying to stop Elena from doing everything? So yeah, can't wait to see that and to read this conclusion. The subject I decided to sit is for herbology, and the first prompt is Mendrak, quick put your headphones on, listen to an audiobook, and if not, read a book with a green cover. So I have two choices for this, and I will be deciding like in August what I'm going to do. So either I read with Malice, and I feel like the cover is pretty much green, and I know that it's a contemporary happening in Italy or in Greece. It might be in Greece, and that's basically all I know about it. It's just green and I need a green book. Or if not, I'm going to listen to Serafina by Rachel Hartman. I have the book, but I also have the audiobook for more than 2 years on my phone and I still haven't read it. It's basically a story of a girl who can control dragons, or I started this book but I don't remember it, and she has this unique link with a dragon, and dragons aren't really well seen in this world or something like that, like basically they're killing people? I know, shocking. So yeah, might read this, I don't know, we'll see. Next is read a book between 300 pages and 390 pages, and for this prompt I decided to pick The Quiet at the End of the World by Lauren James. So this book is a post-apocalyptic story, and we're following those two young people, and they're surrounded by this society where there is this disease that causes global infertility, and so everybody is aging and there is no baby anymore. And I think that the two of them aren't struck by the disease, and so they have to make choices like who to kill, to save, and there are secrets like that revealed, and it's basically a huge mess. But I discovered this book while going to my book club because we read a book by this author the next together, and so we Skyped with her and she talked about this book, and when she talked about it I was like, this sounds so great, I want to read it. So if I can, I'm going to read it this summer, hopefully. And the next prompt in order to get an outstanding is to read a book with flowers on it. I'm going to read The Reader by Tracy Chee. So this is the French and it says La Lectrice. And this, the synopsis behind the book is pretty obscure, like I don't really know what it's about. I just know that we're following Sephia, and Sephia is living in this world where nobody knows how to read, but basically she has to read a book in order to help her people. I don't really know what it's about, but my sister bought this for me for Christmas or for my birthday, and it's stunning, and it's actually look really great because I'm intrigued by this book and by the fact that I'm reading a book with someone who doesn't know how to read. Interesting point. So we'll see what it's actually about, and I will let you know in my wrap-up if I liked it or not, and maybe I will tell you exactly what it's about. And last but not least, the last subject I decided to pass is Ancient Runes, and the first prompt is to read a book recommended by friends, and for this I'm going to read The Wrath and the Dawn because my two best friends keep telling me that I need to read this book and they're talking about it a lot, and the fact that it was really great. So it's finally time for me to read The Wrath and the Dawn, so I'm going to read this like this summer. The second prompt is to read a book written in the past, and for this I'm going to read The Rose and the Dagger, so the second book in the duology of The Wrath and the Dawn. I feel like I went through it and I saw past tense, so I feel like this is written in the past tense. I hope I'm right. So anyway, I'm going to read that for this prompt. This duology is basically a retelling of 1,000 Nights. Please tell me I'm right. Please tell me this is a retelling of 1,000 Nights, because it's the feeling I have when I see them, like, and it's something I have in my head, like a memory I have of it. But anyway, the last prompt for this subject is to read a book that's been on a TBR for ages, and for that I'm going with One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I don't know how to say her name. Even though I just got this for my birthday, it's been on my TBR since it came out, so I'm really happy to be finally being able to read this. And basically what's happening, you have those 5 kids or 3 or 4 kids and one died, and basically it's a mystery about who killed this person. I hope I'm right once again, because I really suck at like remembering synopsis of books, but I promise in September I'll be better at this. I'm going to train during the summer. So you guys, that was my very long and very ambitious TBR for the Newts. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read all of this, but at least I'm going to try to read enough books in order to become an Hogwarts professor, because it's my main goal. I will let you know how this went in my wrap-up in September, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye guys!